and welcome to episode 11 of This Is a Football Show. We have Jack Kemmler, just zoomed in on us a little bit there. Jack Kemmler, Saketh Kodori. I'm your host, Ben Chowdhury, for this episode. We have a very fun NFL team tier list coming up. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Thursday Night Football preview. But first and foremost, we have a very special guest with us today to talk a little bit on the Steelers and just the league as a whole. It's been a crazy year. So, guys, let's welcome on Mr. Lechner to the show. How we doing, Mr. Lechner?
Doing well this evening. Thank you, fellas, for having me on.
All right, so I think we should just get right into it. So, Kath, I'll start with you. You got any questions for Mr. Lechner to start us off?
Yeah, obviously, Mr. Lechner, you're a big Steelers fan, and one of the big problems the Steelers have had this year has been with Najee Harris. He was somewhat exposed, I'd say. His vision has been kind of bad this year, and even guys like Jaylen Warren have started to get some more snaps over him. So do you think Najee Harris is still the future of this backfield?
Absolutely. I think if you look, the Steelers have kind of had a carousel of offensive line coaches really ever since Mike Munchak left. Munchak was kind of the heart and soul of that Pouncey, Foster, Villanueva, DeCastro team where they were just maulers. And when he took the job to be closer to his daughter in Denver, we kind of just haven't found the coach that's really stuck. Tried a number of different options, and every coach kind of brought in their own scheme a little bit. And I just don't think the line really has meshed. But I think that if you look at where they were in the beginning of the season, it's kind of like you brought up Najee and Jaylen Warren. You look at that first stretch of games, Najee was getting hit within a yard of receiving the ball, whereas Jaylen Warren was getting hit within, I think it was like 3.4, 3.5 yards. He was just getting more room, Last, I think it's 4 or 5 games, Steelers are actually a top 5 rushing team in the NFL. Saw a very productive game out of Najee Harris this week. I think if you look at a lot of the tape and like the L22 and everything, in the beginning, both in run blocking and pass pro, a number of linemen were making mistakes. It wasn't just one guy's fault. It wasn't just Dan Moore being a turnstile. It wasn't just, Mason Cole not getting over. It was a number of guys, and I think now when you look at it, it's a mistake by one, which obviously isn't where they want to be, but I think it's progress, so I still think Najee's a great back. I think he's got everything it takes. I think the problem is where you're seeing a little bit of a drop off in production is they're leaving him in for pass block and extra protection a little bit more because of that line. And so you're not seeing the catches out of the backfield, the type of stuff that, the Giants run for Saquon Barkley, where you saw a lot more of that last year. So I think him and Jaylen Warren are good 1-2 punch. I think it just comes down to the line. If you got a good line, you got a good running back. You look at the backs across the league, they get it done with a good line. If you get a top back and he leaves and he chases money in free agency and goes somewhere where the line's, crappy or subpar, they tend not to have that many good seasons anymore.
Yeah, and
Mr.
just
Lechner, you mentioned Saquon Barkley, which I think is an interesting thing because, is there any worry with Najee Harris kind of going down the same role? We saw the Giants almost run Saquon into the ground. He's having an awesome bounce back year, but Giants fans are still worried, like with the injury history, with how much the Steelers run Najee Harris. Is there any worry of like 2-3 years down the road where the talent and just the overall exhaustion are going to catch up to him?
Yeah, I think Tomlin's a coach that has always liked a bell cow back. He did that with Le'Veon Bell. James Conner, when Bell walked, got a lot of carries. He saw a lot of touches and stuff like that. I think some of it is kind of finding that complementary piece. Like, I'll be honest, there's times when McFarland plays that I'm like, oh, I like what I see, and it's very short-lived. Benny Snell, not my favorite player. Just don't think he brings much to the attention. I think his vision's awful. I think now that you see Jaylen Warren in there and stuff like that, and you can get that true 1-2 punch, you can get back to like what Connor and Williams had back in the day. People forget that like some of Jerome Bettis' best years were with Fast Willie Parker up front. So you kind of, and I think that kind of the NFL backed by committee. You look at teams like the Cowboys. What they have. It's not just, well, we're going to run Zeke, tires off. They have complementary pieces. But Tomlin's that old school coach that prefers a bell cow. So I don't really see his touches falling off. I think that for Saquon, it's a shame because I loved watching him at Penn State. He was just dynamite. And I think that I'm glad he's having a bounce back year. I really am. But I think part of the thing was, the Giants were kind of where a couple years ago where the Steelers were. They were having problems with their line. A lot of the offense was running through him. They could not keep a wide receiver healthy. You had trades like, Galladay and stuff like that just weren't panning out. And so I think that, running so much of your offense through one guy, you're going to expose him a little bit more. I just think there's a difference in how the backs are built. I think Najee's a little bit of a thicker guy. You know, um, Hopefully he can take more of those hits and more of those touches. So
Yeah, and Mr. Lechner, something I've also noticed is that with fantasy football, when a guy goes from having a great year because he's catching passes to, not catching as many passes because Pickett's the QB now, that also has over dramatized how bad he's been. So yeah, I don't think he's been as bad as people think either.
yeah, and I think that's kind of the culture we live in, right? I mean, everybody looks at what their fantasy team's doing, and it's like, my one team I have Lamar Jackson. It's like, great game, and then it's like, oh my God, what happened to him? He only put up like 20 points. Like, what are you doing? And it's like, oh well, So I think we put a lot of that, emphasis on what are their fantasy numbers, but I think that when you look at what's kind of jumping out on tape, and it's kind of like if you think of like Minka Fitzpatrick last year versus the first year he came to the Steelers in the trade with the Dolphins, there's all this talk about Minka Fitzpatrick didn't have a great year. The interception numbers were down. This number was down. This number was down. It's like, well, they were kind of asking him to play almost like more of a pseudo nickel role, like just like an exit linebacker. Because they were suspect against the run. You had periods where Watt was hurt, periods where Hayward was hurt, periods where Alualu was hurt. So I feel like it's more situational with a lot of teams. You're not expecting those flash statistics from everybody. And I think sometimes fantasy numbers, it's like when I first started playing fantasy football, like the number one quarterback was Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers put up video game numbers every week. He didn't win much,
Right.
So, but I think it's not the year that he wanted. And I think that, yeah, Ben was smarter getting rid of the ball quicker because he knew what he had in front of him in the line and he didn't want to get beat up anymore. Had too many years of that. So I think that, he was just quicker. Whereas I think, Pickett sometimes does hold on to the ball too much, but I think that that's kind of what comes with the rookie QB. I think we've seen that with some of the great QBs that are in the league. Justin Fields struggled early on. Josh Allen was not Josh Allen when he first started. Mahomes, came out of the gates hard and stuff like that, but had great surrounding pieces. But, when you can dump a ball off to Kelsey and a Tyreek Hill and stuff like that, it covers a lot of warts, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm a Jets fan, so I look forward to the draft every year. This year, maybe not because we're good, but Steelers, they're actually bad this year for the first time, and they're actually looking to their draft pick. So do you know, like, the needs you guys need and, like, any college players you're looking at?
It's a brutal way to put it.
I'm one of those guys that I love it when the Steelers have a boring draft. I know that sounds awful, but it's like I love it when they have a boring draft. When we're not taking a first round, wide receiver, quarterback, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's great. It's like my friend always says like the Steelers have the unsexiest picks, and I'm like, yeah, like we took David DeCastro in the first round, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
As far as the draft comes, I'm hoping for two things. Not to offend anybody in the Chicago Bears fan base, but since we got their, second round pick for Chase Claypool, I'm hoping that they tank for the rest of the season and don't do anything. Just please shut down Justin Fields. Bright young man, got a great career ahead of him. Not going anywhere this year. Just roll it out because that'll be like I think the season ended tomorrow, like the 33rd or 34th pick in the draft. Which I think is nice. It gives you kind of three picks in the top 50 or whatever it is. But I think the first thing that you got to look at is the offensive line. If there's that plug and play offensive lineman, that you just have a feeling about, you go for that. I think looking at the defensive line, Cam Hayward's getting up there. I like the outside linebacker combo of Watt and Highsmith. Inside linebacker, love the Jack trade. But I think inside linebacker is another need. There's not much behind them. I hate it when I see Robert Spillane on the field. He can't cover a pillow. So I want a boring draft. I'm that guy. I love the draft this year. I'll be honest. I was a Pickett guy from the start. I really liked him. Didn't really pay much attention to all the negative stuff that was out there. I could care less what his hand size is, but really like the Pickens pick in the second round. I thought Pickens was a first round wide receiver all the way. I think he just was one of those guys that kind of fell because of the ACL. But he was a beast at Georgia. On a loaded team, got a lot of balls. So I mean, I really like their draft this year. But next year I want a boring draft.
Yeah, I mean, you brought it up, that picket hand size thing. I'm a massive draft guy too myself. I was so mad whenever I saw that. For me, it's just like, if you're good at football, you're good at football. I mean, we saw it with even Joe Burrow with his hand size. Russell Wilson was 5'8", 5'9". Kyler Murray was tiny, but like, for me, I don't know if it's the same with you, but like, who cares if they're playing great in college? Why wouldn't they play great in the NFL?
Yeah, it's like I remember when they took Keith Miller and they were asking Kevin Colbert, like, what was his 40 time is, and he's like, I have no idea what he ran at his 40 time. I just know he's a tight end that can block and catch football.
Yeah,
I mean, Joe Burrow, perfect example, small hands. Patrick Mahomes, not big hands. Look at Patrick Mahomes. That was a concern for him. And Andy Reid at the time period said it was ridiculous. Joe Montana did not have big hands. Another Pittsburgh guy. So I mean, I don't put as much faith into that. I think that yeah, you want to pay attention to what happens at the combine and the scouting profiles and stuff like this. But I think especially at the quarterback position, it's such a crapshoot. It really is. You don't know what a guy's going to do, and then you can have guys that come out that are just surefire hits that might not pan out. I mean, like the biggest joke in the NFL draft history is Ryan Leaf. You look at Andrew Luck. I mean, just with injuries and stuff like that. Alex Smith was a guy that got called a bust for years, and it's like, well, Alex Smith was in San Francisco for 6-7 years, whatever it was. I remember reading one time like he had 7 head coaches and 6 offensive coordinators or something. It's like, well, how do you expect the guy to really be good? So I don't really put much faith into that. I kind of think like we're great armchair quarterbacks, but the guys that are doing the draft, they're doing them for a reason and they know what they're looking at. So I know there's a lot more teams that put analytics into play, which I think is cool. It's just I really could care less what his vertical jump was.
Yeah. I mean, another one I want to throw out there real quick before we move on. I remember a weakness for Trevor Lawrence was that he didn't face enough adversity in college, aka he didn't lose enough games. Like he
Right.
won too much. So
Yeah.
that was a weakness. So it's
Yeah.
it's like, what are we even doing here? It makes no sense. Jack brought it up earlier. The last time that the Steelers, even not under Mike Tomlin, that went under 500 was 2003. They went 6-10. And I know the season's not over yet. Technically, you guys can still get at or above 500, but I mean, you guys are 4-7 right now. Do we solely attribute it to Ben Roethlisberger not being the quarterback? It's a QB change, or do you think there's some other factors and some other levels to it?
I think it's a lot of things. I mean, we obviously touched upon the line. I think having TJ Watt out of the lineup for the majority of the season, hurt them. I mean, if you look at the Steelers' record with TJ Watt in the lineup without him, it's not good. There's a lack of depth at inside and outside linebacker. A couple guys haven't panned out, a couple injuries, things of that nature. But I think that, and I think that also the Steelers have not done great at drafting cornerbacks through the years. I like bringing Levi Wallace over, but I think a lot of their guys are not number 2 corners. You wonder what Joe Hayden would still be like, but then again, he's unsigned by any other team. So I think there's a couple, real holes that I don't think you can just attribute it to A, B, or C. And in some key games, I don't think, I don't know what it is, but I think if you looked at, penalties and such, I don't think the Steelers are one of the worst teams in the league, but I think that a lot of their penalties this season have been inopportune, So, I mean, aside from the Bills game, they've had a lot of games where they've had, a punching chance, but they've just kind of, given things away. The Colts got their touchdown on this drive, and the Colts are not a good football team. We all know that. But I mean, they kept that touchdown drive alive with like 5 penalties. It was just atrocious, So I think part of it is you're seeing a lot more turnover in their roster than we're normally used to. So I think the QB change is part of it, but I like what they're doing. I think, you get to see and evaluate Pickett for a period of time. I don't think Mitch Trubisky was inherently better than Pickett, I kind of like getting a year under his belt, see where he's at, letting him grow a little bit.
Yeah, and it's always going to be Mike Tomlin, who has a real argument for a top 2, top 3 coach in the NFL. So I'm sure he's going to make it work. I think it's a good time to head over. I'm sure we know your pick already, but just to get a little insight on the upcoming game this Sunday, we have the Steelers sitting at 4-7, heading over to Atlanta. The Falcons are 5-7. So we'll head over to Saketh first, and then we'll work our way around to you, Mr. Lechner. So Saketh, who do you have in this game?
Yeah, I got the Steelers. I think they're a significantly better team than the Falcons, and I think their record is kind of deceiving.
Yeah, I got totally agree. I mean, the Falcons, 5-7 is crazy. They're not a 5-win team right now, and I like how the Steelers played against the Bengals. I think they showed some hope, so I'll give the Steelers.
I don't want to feel like we're sucking up to you, Mr. Lechner, but I'm going to pick the Steelers too. I mean, I know it's 3 in a row, and I'm guessing it'll be 4. I don't want to call anything too early. But yeah, I'm going to take the Steelers too. I mean, this team, like Mr. Lechner said, is a whole different unit when TJ Watt is on the field. I know it's a defensive player, it's not a quarterback, but just the impact that he makes for this team is otherworldly. And this is a legit winnable game against an Atlanta Falcon team that might be a little deceiving, like you guys mentioned. So yeah, give me Pittsburgh in this one. So Mr. Lechner, who do you have in this one?
I got to go Pittsburgh. I'll be a homer. Yeah, I think the Falcons they're having a rough year. I mean, they squeaked out some games that I don't think they were the better team on the field. I think they're another team that's really trying to figure out a number of roster holes. They got a number. They're like us. They got a number of positions where you need you need a varsity player in there, not a JV guy.
And I think we'll move on to the Thursday night football game before we let Mr. Lechner go. We have the Bills, who are sitting at 8-3, heading over to Gillette Stadium. The Patriots are 6-5. Saketh?
Yeah, this one should be a sweep too. I got the Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the Bills catching their stride here. They haven't really this season, and they could definitely go on a hot streak. But for the Patriots, they need to start winning because the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Bills are all going to take over those wild card spots, and they still have to verse the Bengals, Dolphins, and Bills again. So it's not looking good for them in the long run.
Yeah, a stat that I found the other day, and I absolutely love. The Bills are the first team since 2016 to win 2 straight games at Ford Field, which is also the Detroit Lions Stadium. That means the Lions haven't won 2 straight home games in 6 years. They had to get the Buffalo Bills to come in and do it for 2 straight weeks. Yeah, give me the Bills in this one, guys. It's been a little while since they lost to the Vikings in that overtime thriller. A big win against the Browns. They just beat the Lions, like I said. I know it's in Gillette Stadium. I think it could be a close one, maybe a sneaky game, but I'm gonna go with the chalk pick. Give me Buffalo in this one, Mr. Lechner.
Yeah, I got to go with the Bills. I think that when you look at even their past couple losses, you saw some very uncharacteristic play from Josh Allen that you weren't used to seeing. I mean, like that first interception against the Jets. You had that feeling in the other game where he was marching them down the field. He's not going to throw a pick here. And does. I mean, the calamity that was the Minnesota game. So I kind of expect him to right the ship here. Get out of there with the win. And I think that the Patriots are in that position where they're starting to become the lower team in the division, and they're not really used to that spot. That's something they haven't experienced for a while.
And Mr. Lechner, do you think the UCL injury with Josh Allen is somehow throwing him off?
I think like the UCL is like you hear an ACL injury or an MCL, like what that is, right? When you hear the UCL injury, I mean that was the same thing Roethlisberger had.
Right.
It was a similar injury. Now his was worse. He had played through it for an entire year. All these different things. But I remember, I obviously don't, listen to a ton of Bills interviews or anything, but I remember Ben talking about at the time period, just little things like how he gripped a ball, like how he received it off a handoff, which look at the Minnesota game, just a lot of little things that, we would look at. How's he throwing the ball? What's his spiral like? How tight is it? What's his ball speed? How's his accuracy look? He was talking about like a lot of other little things that we're not going to notice, so I think it's a concern. And I think part of it is, when you look at their offensive scheme, the Bills are an uber talented team, but so much of that offense runs through Josh Allen. I mean, he's their leading rusher. So I think it's a concern. They gotta maybe play a little bit more conservatively, get their ground going in other ways, or quick dumps off screens, things like that, little wide receiver twists. I think kind of get some of their offense off of him so he takes a little bit less of a beating. I mean, I know he's a big guy and he can do it and he's tough as nails, but I think really for the season that they're having, who cares about home field advantage, and just, try to march in the playoffs with the healthiest version of him you can.
Right.
Yeah, and Mr. Lechner, as a devout Cowboys fan, I've gone through many seasons where it's not looking so great, but I still have so much hope in my mind just because I don't want to let it go. And I know you're a diehard Steelers fan, so is that hope still there in terms of this year, or are we a bit more reasonable? If like
Yeah,
no
I mean,
offense,
like
but
I don't. I think this season. I mean, I think this season's kind of a punt. You know what I mean? Nice part about being a Steelers fan is that you can always compare them to the Pirates, and you find solace in that, even if it's fake. Because we haven't been good in forever. No, I think that they need to use this year to evaluate. I think it's a different year than they're used to. But I also think a lot of your whatever you want to call them, blue blood teams, et cetera, you don't see them down for long. I think that they're just in a weird position where you could make, like I think like on the Max Kayshawn and Jay Will show, they were talking about how like, the Steelers are the worst QB in the division right now. Could be fact. I mean, Lamar is a good QB. Joe Burrow is amazing. I mean, I loved Joe Burrow in college. Like he won LSU a national championship. Like, celebrated guy. Hated when he went to the Bengals. I was like, oh crap. And then they got chased. And I'm like, oh, you know, I don't inherently think Deshaun Watson comes back and lights the world on fire. So I don't really buy into that argument as much, but I think that the Steelers are, there's hope, but what you're trying to look upon is something that you can build for the future. You don't have any qualms about, thinking that this season is going to be resurrected in any way, shape, or form, you know? So, but I just enjoy watching other teams. So, there's never a bad football game to me.
no, I completely agree with you. I think that's going to do it for the interview. We're all going to hope for a successful Steelers season. Not sure how much it would really do in the outcome of it, but hey, we'll hope for you if that's the best we could do.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me on, fellas. Love to do it
Thanks
again.
for coming on, Mr. Lechner. All right, so that was Mr. Lechner. That was a fun interview. Not the best team, but it was a solid interview just to get his input on the Steelers so far this season. Guys, I think now it's going to be time to head in to the tier list we have. We did one a few weeks ago. We want to reamp it this week because I think there's going to be a lot of changes. So for week 13, here is the tier list, some of the tiers that we have going. We have Lombardi contenders at the very top. We have some divisional dwellers, meaning the divisional playoff round. We have playoff hopefuls down the middle. Not good, not bad at the near bottom. And then other teams that should just absolutely tank. So let's get it started with the Arizona Cardinals. So, Saketh, I'll go to you. Where are we putting the Cardinals?
I mean, without D-Hop, I think, it's immediately into not good, not bad. But I think just D-Hop coming back has changed so much for the team. So I'll put them I think I still have to put them in not good, not bad because of their record and because I think they're gonna have trouble squeaking out that wild card spot. So yeah.
Jack?
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, I don't see a world where they get into that wild card spot. And I guess Marquise Brown and Hopkins now, it's all coming together, but it's not. The coach, the QB, they're on bad terms. So I'll just take them at not good, not bad.
Yeah, I mean they're sitting at 4-8, currently a worse record than the Steelers. And if we're not gonna say the Steelers are making the playoffs, we can't say that the Cardinals are making the playoffs. So I'll agree with you guys. We'll throw them in not good, not bad to start off. Another interesting team to see where they're gonna go. We have the Atlanta. Actually, know what? Real quick, I do want to just go over where we had the Cardinals in Week 8 when we did another tier list. We had them as in the hunt, which would have been down the middle. So the Cardinals take a drop down. So interesting there in Arizona.
Yeah, I think Tyler being out for a couple weeks really changed the whole situation. They dropped a couple games, and I don't think they can really recover at this point.
I think we also had a lot of optimism for the Hopkins return, and hey, he's been great, but like he's not single-handedly winning the games. Yeah. So we'll move on to the Atlanta Falcons. So Saketh, where would you have the Falcons?
I mean, like if they weren't 5-7, I'd put them in tank. They're a tanking team that doesn't have a tanking record, so we'll put them in not good, not bad.
Jack?
I mean, Saketh said that immaculately. That was amazing. Great talk, Saketh. I agree. Not good, not bad.
It's so weird because like they're just about making the playoffs right now, which is it's just like it's so hard to put them in not playoffs. But yeah, I mean they're not good, not bad. I don't think they're a good team at all. The Bucs are just falling apart this year, but I still think Tampa Bay sneaks in over them. The Baltimore Ravens are up. I forgot it again. Yeah, the Falcons in week 8 were, let's find them here. They were in the same category, not good, not bad. So Cardinals moved down one. The Falcons stay in that tier. But if we're being honest, guys, I think the Falcons are inching up a little bit just because of their situation in the division.
Well, I just don't see Tom Brady and the Buccaneers losing that division. That's
Yeah,
just
I mean,
one.
neither do I, but I mean, they're tied in record right now. So I mean, you
They're
have
tied
to.
in record, but if we look down the stretch of the season, who I think will win more games, I think it's obviously the Bucks. They lost Wirfs last week. I don't know like what the timeline is on his return.
I think it's at 2-4.
Yeah, so I mean, like I see the line as being a problem. Obviously, it's been a problem for a while now. But yeah, I just don't think the Falcons can keep up with the Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you guys. We'll move on to the Baltimore Ravens. So right back to you, Sketh.
I mean, like you could either put them as Lombardi contenders or divisional dwellers. I like divisional dwellers better.
All right, Jack.
I definitely don't see him making a run in the playoffs, and they definitely have one of the wild card spots between them and the Bengals. So yeah, I'll put them at divisional dwellers.
Yeah, they're currently first in the division, but have the same record as Cincinnati. Yeah, I think they got to be divisional dwellers. I don't even see them making the AFC Championship. I think there's 2 teams that we should all have in mind. So yeah, I think we all agree once again, divisional dwellers for the Baltimore Ravens. Next up, a team that has an argument for the best team in the league, in my opinion, the Buffalo Bills. Saketh.
Yeah, Lombardi contenders. I don't think this one should be hard.
Jack.
Yeah, like I said, they're gonna catch their stride in a bit. So Lombardi contenders.
I completely agree. Josh Allen's getting healthy, so I mean you got to put him in Lombardi contenders with a healthy Josh Allen. So we go from the top to the bottom real quick. The Carolina Panthers. Saketh.
Tank.
Jack.
That's it.
Yeah, they should be tanking, even though they're being the Broncos. But C.J. Stroud should be their QB next year.
Yeah, I think Saketh said it eloquently. Man of very few words, but he gets the job done. They're tanking. I mean, they do not look good whatsoever. The offense sucks. The defense sucks. The coaching is abysmal. They just fired their coach midseason. So yeah, the Panthers have to be a tank. Chicago Bears, a team that has been on the rise a little bit the past couple of weeks. Keth.
Okay, so I will admit when I've made a mistake, and last time we did this, I was insistent that the Bears were a tanking team. They're not. They're not good. They're not bad. Fields is getting better and better every week. Obviously, he's been out for the last couple, but yeah, I think the Bears are starting to get something going here.
Jack.
Now they should definitely be tanking. I mean, right now I think they're the 3rd pick or 2nd pick, which is set up for Will Anderson, which would be perfect for them. But when Justin Fields is on the field, he takes over that game. So not good, not bad.
Yeah, and real quick, just a quick recap. I once again was the 3rd time I forgot. So we're just I'll give you a comparison of some of the teams that I missed. The Bills remain in that Lombardi contender from week 8 to now. Week 8, the Ravens were in the playoff hopeful section. Now we put them in divisional dwellers, and the Panthers were in tank before, and they're gonna stay in tank now. And for the Bears, I think they have to be not good, not bad. I'm for some reason I've always just loved the Bears, but I mean they have the worst record right now in the NFC, which is not great. So yeah, I'm gonna put them not good, not bad. It is weird. Like why? So why are we all putting them not good, not bad?
Because
I think we see potential.
Yeah,
Fields can win games.
Yeah, I think when we look at like a team like the Panthers and we look at the Bears, we think about, I mean, how much more potential do we have with the Bears than we do with the Panthers? I mean, there's more young talent on the Bears, so I just think the ceiling itself puts them as not a bad team, but definitely not a good team.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. For the future, definitely. Even for right now, for the rest of the season, I could still see them winning 2 or 3 games, which I mean, for the bottom tier teams is a lot of games. So yeah, not good, not bad. It just makes sense for that reason. We have the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that were tied. Oh, real quick, I almost forgot again. Yeah, the Bears, Bears in week 8, not good, not bad. Bears today, not good, not bad. So another team not changing too much over the past 5 or 6 weeks. The Cincinnati Bengals, so Kath, where are we putting them?
I think it would be criminal to put them anything or anything that's not on the same tier with the Ravens. So we got to put them in divisional dwellers.
Jack?
Yeah, I have to agree there. I don't love their defense right now, giving up like 30 points to the Steelers. That's not great. So divisional dwellers it is.
Yeah, I mean, guys, I think we're forgetting too. Jamar Chase is coming back this week, so that is going to be massive for them. The offense looked good without him. They looked great at the start of the season with him. So I mean, this offense is going to become top 5, at least top 5 in the league, I would say. You got Burrow, you got those 3 receivers. Mixon, who I think is a little overrated, but is still a great running back. Yeah, I think divisional dwellers is a perfect spot for them. And real quick, let's find them here. The Bengals will stay. Yeah, the Bengals were divisional dwellers in Week 8, and we're going to keep them there in Week 13, which is very solid considering the Jamar Chase injury that they were able to maintain that same tier. So good on the Bengals. We have the Cleveland Browns going to have a lot of changes coming up, especially on this Sunday against the Texans. So, Saketh, where are we putting them?
I think they're playoff hopefuls. They're definitely not as bad as the teams and not good, not bad. But I can't make that jump and put them in divisional dwellers. Literally 2 teams in their division are right there. So yeah, I have them as playoff hopefuls. I think they have a chance to squeak out that wild card spot, but it's pretty slim.
Jack?
I think their playoff spot hopeful is it's very, very slim, less than slim. 4-7. You got the Patriots, you got the Jets, you got the Dolphins, you got the Chargers, and then you have the Bengals, Ravens. I don't like them to be playoff hopefuls. I'll take them at not good, not bad.
I completely agree with Jack. I mean, so you said they had the slim chance. I mean, they need so much to happen. Not only do they have to win almost all of their games the rest of the season, they also need like all the teams that Jack mentioned just to lose at least 3 or 4 games. Yeah, I know.
Looking at their team, do you think they're as bad as the teams we have in not good, not bad?
No, definitely not. They're definitely the best of the bunch, but
I still don't think it's enough to put them in that playoff hopeful spot. Though.
Okay.
That's the only thing.
That's fair.
I know. I mean, I know Watson's coming back, but at least for this season goes, you just can't put him in playoff hopeful, no matter if he is back to his form that he was on the Texans a couple years ago, which I mean is probably like a top 5, top 7 quarterback. But still, I think they got to go in not good, not bad. But just for you, Saketh, we'll put them at the front of not good and not bad.
Yeah,
I can figure that out.
they're not allowing you. Okay.
There we go. There it is. Next up, we have the best team in the NFL. So, Kath, where are we putting the Cowboys?
Best team in the NFC East, maybe, but
I'll take that too. That is massive. I don't think we would get there.
I think it's fair to say at this point. I'll put them in Lombardi contenders.
Let's go. I was about to make that argument when I was up, but hey, if you want to make it for me, that's incredible, Jack.
Yeah, definitely better than the Eagles. The Eagles' defense has just not been good. They gave up like 33 to the Packers the other night. I don't like that. I'll take the Cowboys as Lombardi contenders.
Yeah, I think I'll put the Cowboys in the.
Yeah, I think so too. Might as well just do it.
I wonder if you were debating. Were you debating that?
No, not really. I mean, I want to put them here, but
all
right. Hey, okay, all right. I've heard it. We'll leave them there as long as they're in that tier. Is fine with me. Yeah, guys. I mean, we were talking about the Eagles. I'm sure we'll get to them. I'm not a massive fan of them this year. I think they're a bit overrated. Just
I think their record is overrating them. Yeah.
It definitely. I mean, the teams they played to get that record.
But again, we were at that Eagles-Cowboys game where the Cowboys were utterly embarrassed. So, cow frauds.
We made that game close at the end.
You did, but you guys still lost. And the Eagles apparently make every game close, so it doesn't mean that much.
I don't know. Cooper Rush instead of Dak Prescott.
Okay, at the time, you guys are arguing Cooper Rush should be able to challenge for that starting role. So
that was just to get us
you wished it upon yourself.
That was just to get us through the Cooper Rush era. That was just mind tricks playing on ourselves.
Dak looked pretty healthy on that sideline for an extra week. But yeah, sure.
I mean, the Cowboys I feel like they progressed maybe the most in the NFL since that Eagles game.
I don't think they progressed. I think they just got healthy, honestly.
They also have the best point differential in the entire NFC
Well,
unlike the
pretty
Vikings.
dramatized by that 140-3 game, but sure.
That's true. That is true. I'm not a big point differential on the NFL guy.
No, I mean, but I had to throw it out there as a Cowboy fan. But guys, also like just our defense alone, like the defense. I mean, can we say that it's the best in the NFL?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, awesome.
We thought it was gonna be a debate from that. Like you guys have been good.
I'm just making sure. I
Micah
gotta
Parsons
gauge.
is so good. He should be the DPOY in my opinion.
I have to gauge the room. Yeah, I completely agree. Jack, DPOY for Micah?
Yeah, but I like Judon close. He's right there.
I hate that. Clean up sacks.
He's leading the league in sacks. What else do you want?
Clean up sacks. That's all he is.
Clean up sacks?
Clean up sacks.
Okay,
Quarterback
let's
runs
not
into
clean
him.
up sacks, but he's not overrated. I just don't think he's anywhere near Micah Parsons.
All right, I can deal with that. So yeah, Cowboys are Lombardi contenders.
Please move on to the next team. I have plenty to say about this team.
So real quick, surprisingly, just for a comparison, the Cowboys were Lombardi contenders in our Week 8 episode as well. So I'm not sure if that was me.
It was all you, Ben.
I'm sure it was.
No, that was me. I backed them.
I was trying to put them in the tier under because they were like third in the NFC at that time. So
yeah,
whatever.
And they stay in Lombardi contenders where they belong because Lombardi contenders are what they are, and the Lombardi is where they'll be. Let's just leave it at that. We have the Denver Broncos up next, Kath.
I am so frustrated with this team. I will never again draft a Bronco that's coached by Nathaniel Hackett in my fantasy league. Nathaniel Hackett is the worst NFL coach of all time. That Russell Wilson trade might have been the worst trade we've seen recently. And oh my gosh, it's so frustrating. Put them behind the Panthers. They should be dead last, okay? I have the Texans better than them at this point.
Oh, whoa.
No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
We can get to that. We'll get to that with the Texans. Jack?
They don't even have their first round pick. They're just losing. They're just losing, and it sucks because it feels like their roster, like you look at it and it's potential. And it's
let's talk about that trade for a second. The Seahawks got a quarterback upgrade. They got maybe the defensive rookie of the year. They got who else did they get? And who
Charles Cross? They got Charles Cross with that pick because having a great.
They did, and the Broncos got a
Noah Fant.
dummy QB. That's what they got.
Well, Noah Fant's not really.
Oh yeah, but it's still a guy though, and I think they got a D lineman who's been like solid. It's a starter, so like.
I mean, Chadwick, come on, Greg Dolch. I mean, he's better than Noah Fant. Come on, man.
Actually, I do love Greg Dolch, but
yeah,
I mean, Noah Fant's still a
big
name.
upgrade.
It's still a name. I mean, yeah, all those picks too.
But we also should have known that Nathaniel Hackett was a bad coach when he called for a field goal with that Packers offense coordinator game.
Oh, I said it since week 1. He was a horrible coach.
Did you?
Yeah, I got to give Saketh credit where credit is due. Saketh has hated Nathaniel Hackett. So, yeah, like you said, since week 1. Like he's been on that for the entire time.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think Aaron Rodgers knew who Nathaniel Hackett was. Like he might have been offense coordinator, but like he didn't listen to him.
I don't think. Yeah.
If you're an offensive coach with like Brady or Rodgers, you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
You're not calling plays. Like you're not going to tell them what to do. It makes no sense.
Speaking
guys,
of coaches who should be hired, if D'Amico Ryans does not get hired soon, I will be another angry man.
I like it.
D'Amico Ryans is, I think, he should be next in line for the next big head coaching job.
The Niners don't have the talent that shows the type of defense they are. So I think he deserves some shout outs for some head coaching jobs this offseason.
Yeah, but how did these coordinators keep doing it with Salah? Then now it's this guy. I mean,
I know. It's all. I mean, also Eric Bieniemy with the Chiefs. He's been there forever.
Yeah, it feels like every offseason they're like, oh, let's get this guy, and just never.
I mean, they're hiring special teams coordinators over Bieniemy. Like it makes no sense.
Well,
Who's the special teams coordinator?
Oh shoot, who hired a special team coach?
The Texans, Lovie Smith.
No, Lovie Smith was with Illinois. The Giants before Dable, whoever that guy was.
Joe Judge.
Judge.
Joe Judge was a special teams coordinator.
That's bad.
Like,
yeah, he was awful.
Like, how is that a head coach? Maybe Bieniemy's declining these offers, but if he's not getting offers, like, we have some serious questioning to do.
Wait,
I think he was interviewing for some jobs last summer.
I hope so. I hope he's just declining them just so we can stay with the Chiefs and win rings. Because I mean, he is probably the best OC out there right now.
Yeah.
He's up there. Yeah.
Wait, who's the Cowboys defensive coordinator?
Kellen Moore.
Oh, who am I thinking of that has like the defensive coordinator?
You know who is a bad coach though? Mike
Was it
McCarthy.
Bill O'Brien, right? Is that who?
Oh,
defensive
Jack,
coordinator?
are you saying offensive or defensive coordinator?
I'm forgetting, but they have a really good. What
Cowboys had Dan Quinn. He's been awesome. As a
Dan
defensive
Quinn,
coordinator.
yes,
Yeah.
he's been good at offense, but like he's not going to go to offense to a head coach because he hasn't been good as a head coach.
I hope not. I mean, he's been. I mean, he turned the Cowboys into the number one defense in the entire NFL.
Yeah.
So
I
I hope he
think
doesn't.
last year, going into the season, we thought the Cowboys were going to be the worst defense in the NFL.
One of, yeah. I mean, like top 20.
No, I think you're being a little hopeful. I personally, last year, before we saw what Parsons would turn into, I thought the Cowboys were going to be probably like bottom, like they're 27 through 32. And
I mean, yeah, with the defense, it's really a lot about the coordinator and the captain.
yeah, and also give credit where credit is due. I think Trayvon Diggs has kind of stepped up a little bit.
Yep.
Which is hilarious to me because his picks.
I still think he's horrible, but
His picks
Yeah.
plummeted.
Oh, horrible is come on.
no, I still think he's not as good as what people think he is.
I don't
but-
think people think he's good anymore, which is
Yeah,
which
I
is
don't
great.
think. I just think people think he's just like a not good.
He's such a weird. It's so weird.
Hey,
that he
according
is.
to Madden, he's still a superstar. So
we do not talk about Madden ratings according to how
no,
good.
it frustrates me every time I load up
I mean,
Madden.
Shadow Chocinco doing those. So
Yeah, they just ask us on Instagram. Oh, should this guy be a 99? Like, oh, we decide this now. Makes no sense.
I mean,
Like,
Tucker
no,
should
but-
be 99.
They might be just as bad as PFF since Will's not.
All right, okay,
Oh,
all right.
okay.
Let's keep it on Madden. Let's keep the Madden hate going. Let's not attack PFF.
I
Incredible.
mean, Jalen Hurts is like an 82, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Not as bad. They're way worse. I can't believe
It
you
was like a
just said that.
79. Ugh.
No, but I mean, Zaketh, like you said, I mean, the picks are down. Trayvon Diggs looks like an actual CB1. Like he looks like no,
On what team are you talking about?
he looks like a top 32.
Okay,
player.
I think since the Cowboys' defensive line is so good, it's like
Yeah.
it does a good job of making non-CB1 corners looking like CB1 corners. So I feel like if you put Trayvon Diggs on another team, he definitely wouldn't be as successful as he is right now with the Cowboys.
I think that's fair to say with almost every like singular Cowboys player, though. If you take him off the defense,
Oh yeah, of course. I think the strength of the defense is D-Law, Micah Parsons, Gallimore. He's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Armstrong. That whole defensive front has really carried the load, in my opinion.
It really. I mean, and a guy we lost to the team we're currently on, the Denver Broncos. Randy Gregory.
Speaking of the Broncos, please put them in the tank.
Yeah,
please.
I will.
Wait, did you guys see the report where it said like Wilson, like only half the team showed up to his birthday party?
Yes, I did see that.
I did
Which is
not.
warranted.
I mean, how is that getting out? Like, how was that news getting out?
His I think his wife Ciara put it out for some reason.
Yeah.
Like what you're just
Oh,
gonna
she
like
put it out? I mean, yeah, maybe she's trying to back him up or something. He's a horrible teammate.
it's I'm still in shock about like how bad like guys, I was the biggest like I thought Russell Wilson deserved at least 1 to 2 MVPs so far in his career that he was gypped out of like in Seattle. He was
Well, whatever MVPs he should have earned, I would have taken away if he won them. If
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like this is the biggest drop off from one year to the next I think I've ever seen from a quarterback.
And it's one of the biggest rises from
It's like I have a
exactly.
issue just watching the Broncos this year because Wilson just hyper targets his tight ends and he has guys like Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. I feel like they're just forgotten in games. I mean, he just does not use the talent he has. Obviously, going into the season, we thought Javonte Williams was going to be like a huge part of this Broncos offense, but he got hurt. But I think you still have enough talent for Russell Wilson to lean on these receivers a little bit. And I think he just hasn't been. And I think Nathaniel Hackett also has to recognize the fact that, Wilson is not the type to, I guess, target some of the routes that these receivers have been running. And he also has not made those adjustments. So I think, Wilson and Hackett have both been equally awful.
And it just doesn't make sense because, I mean, you look at his Seahawks days, like he's targeting Lockett. He's targeting Doug Baldwin. He's targeting Jermaine Kearse.
I think
And
going into the season, Wilson was the most accurate deep ball passer we had in the league.
he
And
was.
it just hasn't been that.
I mean, throwing the run too. It was like Mahomes, Allen, and like Russell Wilson. Like he was at the top of so many categories. I mean, and yeah, like I say, it just dropped off. So yeah, definitely behind the Panthers.
Also,
in
Jimmy Graham.
tank.
I just want to throw that Jimmy Graham. I loved him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I loved him. I'm a Saints fan.
More,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Well, I forgot what fan you are.
Oh yeah, it's so
You
funny.
got to get one in each episode.
Yeah,
you have to.
Okay, but yeah, Jimmy Graham with the Saints was, dude, it was, jeez, oh my god.
I mean, just think about the old Saints. Just reminisce.
Yeah, just stay in that because when we get to the Saints, I'm sure it's not going to be the same as Drew Brees when he was there. We got the Detroit Lions up next. So, Saketh, I'll throw this one to you.
Obviously, like record-wise, they're a tanking team, but I think, their record is deceiving, just like a team like the Falcons. I think, record-wise, we'll put them in tank, but like talent-wise or like potential-wise, they're definitely like not good, not bad. I feel like they deserve to stick with the teams in there.
Jack?
I mean, they have a top 3 pick.
They do.
It's just not them. It's the Rams.
Yeah.
It's the Rams pick.
Stafford, man.
And they're on a 3-game win streak, so not
wait. What? Oh, I got you. It's the Rams pick that they have.
Yeah. And
I thought you said like they gave it to I was confused. All right, yeah. No,
the Rams gave it to the Lions. So
not good, not bad. Not good, not bad. Also, I forgot it again. The Broncos in our last episode were in not good, not bad. I think that was just us being hopeful for them with Russ possibly picking it up. He did not. So yeah, now they're dead last in tank at the moment. The Lions, I wanna put them in not good, not bad.
3-game win streak. Come on. Beat the 7-win Giants.
4-7's enough for me. I love Dan Campbell as a coach. I think he's so underrated in the league. I like some of the pieces they have. So yeah, if me and Jack are in agreement for not good, not bad, I think that's where we got to put him. So not good, not bad for the Detroit Lions. Another very interesting team that I'm sure took a drop in our comparison. Also, real quick, let me make the comparison for the Lions. Lions were in tanking in our Week 8 episode, and now we have them not good, not bad. So a bit of a rise for Detroit. Not so much of a rise for Green Bay. So I'll throw the Packers over to you, Saketh.
Yeah, they're not good, not bad. I think, yeah. Especially with Rodgers now gone, I think, you have to put them in not good, not bad. I mean, yeah.
Jack?
This one hurts my stomach. I think you gotta know I love Aaron Rodgers.
Does it hurt your ear too?
Okay. Well, what is this? Yeah, I love the Aaron Rodgers, and for them to be booing him, what was it like against the Titans when they were booing because he wasn't having a good game? Like he's been their QB for 18 years, amazing, and just I don't like the Packers fan base right now, but sadly they are not good, not bad.
Yeah, I have hated the Packers my entire life. The amount of times Aaron Rodgers has left me in heartbreak in the playoffs is unsurmountable. Dez catch, Rodgers has like 40 seconds.
Oh, that's a lot as a Cowboys fan, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to.
A lot of losing.
I mean, it's also Dez Bryant incompletion, just so you know.
All right. I'm gonna go cry in a corner after this episode's done. Yeah, I'm gonna put I'll put the yeah. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate it.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know if he's good.
Yeah, no, I remember it. Yeah, appreciate that. Thanks. Yeah, I'll put the Packers not good, not bad. I don't think they really have any chances of a playoff now. I mean, Rodgers doesn't even feel like he's a part of the team anymore. Jordan Love looked good, so that's cool for their future. But yeah, I think not good, not bad is a perfect spot for them. Another team that should be real quick, Packers. I keep forgetting. Packers were in the hunt in our Week 8 episode, and I think we all know that they were going to at least drop one tier, which they did. So from in the hunt to not good, not bad, go the Packers. No playoff hopeful teams yet, which is kind of interesting. I'm sure we'll get some in the coming teams, but not with this one. At least I shouldn't. So, Kathy, you got the Texans.
Yeah, we'll keep this one very brief. Love Lovey Smith, love what he's doing, but they're a tanking team.
Jack?
What do you love from Lovey Smith?
Yeah, I don't know how much there is to
Okay.
love.
I feel like he's done a better job than Bill O'Brien. I see this team, obviously, guys like Brandon Cooks have not stepped up, but I think Lovey Smith has done a better job of giving the Texans like some more games that they can compete in. I feel like a lot of these games have been closer than what these records say.
Jack?
Tank.
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. This is a tanking team. My argument is the worst team in the NFL. The Indianapolis Colts we got next. Saketh.
Oh, Will, I know you're watching this somewhere. The Colts are a bad team, but they're not good. They're not okay. Let me clarify. They're a bad team because Will is a fan of them, but for the purpose of our rankings, they're not good, but they're not bad.
Jack?
You know, some little piece of my heart wants to put them in playoff hopefuls.
Oh,
And then I just think of Will every day, just walking next to him, talking to him. Not good, not bad.
I think they have to be not good, not bad. Regardless of Will, that's exactly what they are. They are not making the playoffs, especially after the Cowboys beat them on Sunday. So, yeah, I think not good, not bad is the perfect spot for them. The Jacksonville Jaguars are our next team. Saketh.
I think they are. Are they at the top of the division right now?
Whoa.
No, it's definitely the Tennessee Titans. They're at 7.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about the
The
Titans.
Jags are at 4-7. They're behind the
Yeah.
Colts
I
right
think.
now.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, that was just
No.
a mental blunder on my end. But
No
but
mental
yeah,
blunders around here.
sorry, Ben. I don't think they're playoff hopefuls considering they're in the AFC. And they're definitely,
What?
I think, comparable with the Colts. So I would put them in not good, not bad as well.
Jack?
I mean, I don't think we're gonna get a playoff hopeful. So I'll put them at not good, not bad.
Yeah, I think another consensus pick is pretty easy. The future is so bright in Jacksonville, but just for this season, they're not making the playoffs, but they shouldn't be tanking. So definitely not good, not bad. The Kansas City Chiefs are our next team. Saketh.
Yeah, they're Lombardi contenders.
Very simple, Jack.
I mean, there's nothing much to say.
Top of the Lombardi contenders.
I can respect it. I think they're the best team in the NFL.
Thank
you.
I think they're like third.
Oh,
What? Behind who?
I think the Bills and the Cowboys are both better.
Dude, I'm a Cowboys fan and I disagree.
I think the Cowboys are better.
I
truly
love
do.
that so much. I wish I had the confidence to say that. I do not. Man,
Okay,
that is a hot take, Saketh.
It's not a hot take. It is not a hot take.
Claiming.
Chiefs.
Oh, hold on. Let me say. I think the Bills are better, and I think the Cowboys are equal. But I think the Cowboys match up better with them.
The Bills are definitely debatable. That's definitely debatable. The Cowboys, it's rough. You know what? They're both debatable. I take back my reaction. I still have them at number one.
If you think about it, think about how these two teams would match up. I think the defense would do a really, really good job of limiting Mahomes, and I think the defense that Kansas City has, I don't think that they're able to make any concessions with the Cowboys offense. So I just think the Cowboys match up better, and for that reason, I'd have them as a better team.
All right, we'll put them down the middle since we're all at odds with this one.
We got a big game, Bengals Chiefs. Does that change anything if they win this game?
No, I don't think so. I think the Chiefs should be expected to beat the Bengals.
It should be a great game though. That's the thing.
It should be a good game, but I don't think it alters my rankings in any way for these top three.
I think if they beat the Bengals, even if the Bills and Cowboys both win, I think the Chiefs.
You say that as if you expect them to lose to the Bengals. Like they should.
I expect it to be a good. I think
you lose to the Bengals.
Just because a team is more likely to win doesn't mean it's like guaranteed happen. Like that's. I think we got.
I don't think so, but I think if they beat a team that we consider to be worse than them, then we should expect them to beat that team and not rank them any higher.
Yeah, but I mean, the Texans and the Bengals aren't the same team. Like I think there's got to be there's so much more value in beating the Bengals.
Okay.
You go over your last tier list or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say that the last 3 or 4 teams, with the Texans, the Jaguars, the Chiefs, they were all in the spot where they were before. The Jaguars stayed not good, not bad. Texans obviously in tank. The Chiefs were second in our Lombardi contender list. So yeah, it's all stayed the same so far. Yeah, I don't know if I said it. I agree with you guys. Chiefs are obviously Lombardi contenders, arguably the number 1 team. But there is a good argument between those 3 teams and between only those 3 teams, in my opinion. But we'll get to that when those other teams come up in the conversation. Next up for you, Keth, the LA Chargers.
Remind me again who's in their division. I believe it's
the Chiefs, the Broncos, and the Raiders.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are obviously taking that division, so they're gonna have to try and get that wild card spot. Are they at the top of that wild card picture right now?
They're not in it.
They're not in it.
Yeah,
who are the 2 teams in it?
It's there's 3 teams. It's gonna be the Dolphins, the Bills, the Bengals, and the Patriots.
No.
The Jets. Yeah, the Jets. I'm sorry, you're right.
Come on.
Okay, I think we got to put them in playoff hopefuls then. I think they have a chance to go get those wild cards, one of those wild card spots. But I think there's not much else to be said. Jack? I think this team is getting healthier and healthier, and I think that'll start making a difference.
Jack?
Sean Slater, I think he's nearing comeback, right?
Yes. Yeah, it said near the end of the season, so yeah, he should be coming back soon.
Yeah, Mike Williams, not an injury, but he should be back like in a week or 2, so I'll keep him at playoff hopefuls.
Yeah, I think they're a bit of an overrated team. I don't think the 6-5 record shows how good they are. I think they're actually a little bit worse than that. But I think playoff hopefuls is definitely fair. Nowhere near divisional winners, but they're also nowhere near not good, not bad. So yeah, I think playoff hopefuls is perfect for them. The next LA team, we have the Los Angeles Rams. Keth.
Not good, not bad. There's not much else to say. I mean, especially with Cooper Kupp going. I mean, Matt Stafford has absolutely no one to target except Ben Skoranek, apparently. So yeah, I mean, they haven't even been good with Cooper Kupp. I think it's like defenses have started to figure out this Rams offense. So yeah, not good, not bad.
Yeah.
I think they're tank. I think they're really that bad. Like
you could say actually that they have the 3rd pick that's going to the Lions. So I mean,
yeah, I mean they can't tank for anything, but they're like in that tier almost.
Okay. In that case, I feel like they can be interchangeable between those 2 tiers. I think they'd be the best of tank or the worst of not good, not bad.
Jack?
Yeah, they spent all this money on these players, and I said at the start of the season that the top of their roster, yes, it's Donald and Ramsey and Wagner and Kupp, but at the bottom, it's some horrible players, and it's starting to show now. So I think they're doomed for at least the next three years with not a lot of picks. So tank.
And hey, I mean, the one thing teams are playing for is the Super Bowl. So I mean, congrats to them last year. They got that Super Bowl.
True. Yes, they did again.
They went all out.
But they also traded like the next 30 years of their success for that.
Yeah.
So.
My take is they went all out and they got it. That's what they were supposed to do. If they didn't get that Super Bowl, people would be talking about those trades for years.
Yes.
Because their future is done. But hey, they got it. Nothing to say about that. Congrats to them. But yeah, I think they're honestly tank. Matt Stafford looks terrible, especially with Kupp gone. Like it's kind of showing how much the age is getting to him. So yeah, I mean they're not tanking for really any sort of pick, but they're in that category. We'll put them at the top of tank though, just to be nice because I think that's where they are. Next up, Keth, we have the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, they're not good, not bad. I think it's obviously been such a big flop considering like what we thought this offense was going to be going into the season, and I think Devontae Adams has been every bit of that. But I think the rest of the offense, the defense has been lackluster at best. So yeah, not good, not bad.
And also, real quick before you go, Jack, once again forgot the comparison, which is pretty classic for this episode already. The Rams were playoff hopefuls in our Week 8 episode. So that is the biggest drop-off we've had of the entire episode so far. So playoff hopefuls all the way down to tank. So massive drop for the Rams. But Jack, back to you for the Raiders.
Not good, not bad. They're kind of getting carried by Josh Jacobs, which I never expected. I never thought he was that good running back. I thought he was always, overrated. But I guess he's showing it now, so not good, not bad.
He has a real argument for like best running back in the league this year, just with how he's played. Like he's near the top, and then Max Crosby, I think, doesn't get enough love on the defensive side too.
Of course,
He's one of the best edge rushers in the league. People just never seem to realize that. But after that, there's not much. So yeah, not good, not bad. I mean, I know there's Devontae Adams, but he really hasn't lived up to it.
No, he has. I feel like he has.
You're right. It's probably Derek Carr, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I think Devontae Adams is at the top of the receiving touchdowns this year. I mean, like receptions wise, he gets hyper targeted. I mean, I feel like just because their team success has been bad, we look and go, okay, maybe Devontae Adams has been bad. But I really think it's just Devontae Adams not benefiting from that Green Bay offense like he's been doing for many years. But I think he's been pretty good.
That's probably right. Yeah, the talent is definitely still there. So yeah, it's just the situation he's in is not favorable whatsoever. So yeah, real quick, the Las Vegas Raiders in our last episode, week 8, were in the not good, not bad section. So not much change for them there. Next team we have the Miami Dolphins. Keth.
Yeah, they're divisional dwellers. I think Yeah. I mean, Jack, go ahead. But they have the best wide receiver duo in the league, and I think they've been one of the more dynamic offenses this year when Tua is playing, especially last week. I mean, what was the score? Someone remind me. It was bad. Texans scored
30. It was like 30-0 in the first half.
It was. Yeah, and me and Chadwick were, watching it very closely. But yeah, no, divisional dwellers.
Jack.
I'm gonna disagree with probably both of you. I just believe in this team that much. I believe in Mike McDaniel that much. He is probably a top 3, top 4 coach right now.
Whoa.
Wow.
The things he does with that offense is unspeakable. And they
have unspeakable. The type of stuff he says in Tua's helmet, I believe,
and that's funny. And I love him. And they haven't lost with Tua since October 31st of last year. So I'll take.
Has it been because of Tua though? Do you think that?
Yes.
If you guys want to let me go, I think yes.
I take him out of Lombardi contenders. But.
Yeah, I mean, Jack. I wonder
do you
where
see
we draw
them
the cutoff.
competing with any of the other teams in the Lombardi contenders?
Yes.
I mean, they beat the Bills. Like, they beat the Bills.
I wonder where we draw the cutoff, because for me, I have the Dolphins as a top 5 team in the NFL.
Yes.
Wow.
But where would we, like, they're better than the Ravens and the Bengals for
sure. I have 5 teams in my Lombardi contenders. I just think those 5 teams could win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I honestly, Jack, I could see it. I mean, I'll make the argument right now. The best quarterback wide receiver duo this year has been Tua and Tyreek. I'll put that up. I mean, you can name me another one to try and prove me wrong, but I don't think
I guess this year, but like.
Oh yeah, no, last year Tua was a terrible quarterback, so I'm definitely just saying this year. But yeah, I mean, Tyreek looks like the best receiver in the NFL right now. Tua is killing it, which I hope is great for his future. O-line looks incredible, which not enough people talk about. Yeah, give me the Dolphins and Lombardi contenders. So I'm going to draw the cutoff at the Dolphins, so they'll definitely be last, but they're still Lombardi contenders in my eyes. So actually, real quick, the Dolphins were divisional dwellers in our last episode, so bit of a bump up even with the Tua injury. He's back now, and they're killing it. So the Dolphins are back up to Lombardi contenders, go 1 tier up. Next team, the Minnesota Vikings, Keth.
Yeah, they're Lombardi contenders easily.
Jack?
No.
But the Dolphins are Lombardi contenders. But no,
I think they're
9-2 Vikings are not.
No, they're not, because I could just see them losing a couple of these games down the stretch, like the Jets this week. I could see them losing this game. So I'll take my divisional dwellers.
You think they're losing to the Jets?
They have a chance, dude.
This is the bias. This is the bias I can't.
That's not a biased pick. We're actually good.
It is a biased pick. They're not losing to the Jets. You got to be kidding me.
This offense with Mike White is actually good.
Oh, he's a one.
Whoa. Listen, Mike White does this thing every year where
done it once. He lost feeling in his arm against the Colts. What else do you want him to do?
I guess he loses feeling every week too, because he's been that bad. Okay, Mike White, does this thing where he's going to be a backup quarterback. Defenses don't plan for him because he's Mike White, right? So when he has this one game and goes off, everyone thinks he's a top 5 quarterback or something. I don't know, but he's not.
This one is so tough. So Keth, I know you got to get going. So I'm glad we got your input in for a very important team right there. So Saketh Kodori, ladies and gentlemen, quick round of applause for Saketh.
Before I go, I will say, if you guys don't put the Giants in playoff hopefuls, I will actually rage quit.
I'm not even. He's not even talking about the Niners too. I was expecting some Niners love right there. We didn't get it.
Yeah.
All right. I'll go. This one is so tough because I kind of agree with you, Jack. They're number 6 if I had to make a power ranking right now.
Let's just look at their schedule. Like, what's their schedule looking like?
Are we talking for the rest of the season?
Yeah.
Well, it goes Jets.
Oh, jeez. Oh, God, that's bad. That is really easy schedule.
Jets line. Oh man, those are all wins.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, I'm switching it. Well, but the thing is, I don't think they're gonna beat the Cowboys or the Niners or the Eagles.
I think it's like the strength of schedule shouldn't decide how good a team is, if we're being honest.
Yeah, it shouldn't, because when they get into those playoffs, Niners, Cowboys, Eagles, they're stopping them. One of them is stopping them.
I almost feel like I want to create a new tier just for the Vikings. But you know what? I will do that. We're gonna do that.
I like it, and I feel like we could do that same tier for somebody else.
Add a row for the Vikings, and that's exactly where they'll go. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. That's just where the Vikings belong. They're number 6. They're not in that top 5, but they're also nowhere near the Ravens and the Bengals and any other team that will be in divisional dwellers. So yeah, I mean the Lombardi contenders, the Vikings, and then divisional dwellers. I think that's how it has to go. Our next team, actually no, let me see where
the only thing good about the Vikings that you look at the Bills win, and that's impressive. But they lost to the Eagles, like bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you could say they beat the Dolphins, but that was without Tua.
And then but they also lost 40-3 to the Cowboys.
The 40-3 says a lot. It does.
It does. I mean, because that is arguably the number 1 team according to Saketh. Mm-hmm. And like, I mean, it shows like when you play a great team and they play like that is worrisome.
I mean, yeah, what's going to change in the playoffs? Like, there's no way. I don't see a world them beating the Cowboys in the playoffs when they just lost 40-3. I don't see that.
I completely agree. So I think putting them in the Vikings category
in the Vikings
is perfect. And last time we had them as divisional dwellers or playoff locks, we had them in the last episode. Yeah, I mean, they bump up half a tier, I guess we'll call it, just because they have gotten a little better, but they're still not in that Lombardi contender tier. Next team we have the New England Patriots will be playing tomorrow night. So, Jack, where are we going to put them here today?
Well, there's not much to it. Even if they lose tomorrow, they'll be 6-6. I still think they'll be like right up there with the wild card spots. So, I'll take them. Belichick. It's Belichick.
Yeah, I think I can't call them playoff locks. Or
is that what I said? I meant hopefuls.
Okay. Yeah. Then I agree with you. Yeah, playoff hopefuls I think is definitely where they have to go. Them and the Chargers are almost the exact same team to me, if we're being honest. Very different play styles, but just where they're at skill wise, I think playoff hopefuls is where they have to go. The New Orleans Saints, I think, who are the top of Saketh's favorite team list.
I think, right?
I think so. I mean, I know the Giants are 2.
I mean, oh wow, they're next to each other. Oh wow.
Yeah, they did that for Saketh. That's exactly why they did it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jack, where do you have the Saints?
I actually really don't see them beating any of these. I could see them being the Falcons, but instead of that, I like all these teams are not good, not bad to beat them. So I'll take Tank.
Whoa.
Yeah. No, I don't like them at all. Maybe one more win. Maybe
4-8.
Let me see the schedule.
They are at the bottom of the division.
Which we're also not talking about strength of schedule. So, I mean, Buccaneers, Falcons, Browns, Eagles, Panthers.
I want to say not good, not bad. Yeah. It's so weird.
Or do you want to know? Do you want to know about the Siena Saints basketball team schedule?
Who?
Siena Saints.
I have no idea who that is.
If you want to know about him, I got you.
All right, I have no idea what you're saying, but
Just hit me up.
I appreciate it. Anyone hit up Jack Kemmler for the Siena Saints, I guess. So yeah, you want him in tank. I want him in not good, not bad. The thing is, like, I know they're at the bottom of the division, but I don't know. This offense is like, I think both the offense and defense are like average to me.
Is Michael Thomas done for the season?
What'd you say?
Is Michael Thomas done for the season?
Yes, I think so.
I mean,
You
that
know
guy.
what? Yeah.
That guy
Then.
He's such a disappointment.
I do want to put him at the top of tank, and that's good with you over the Rams.
Yeah. The only bright spot on the team is Olave.
Olave has been unreal this year too.
Yep.
He's been him and Cam Jordan is always just a monster on the defensive side.
Demario Davis.
Demario Davis too. I mean Olave. I mean Dalton when he's playing has been great.
Yeah.
Well, except for his last week he played, that wasn't incredible. But we'll move past that. Next up, we have the New York Giants. This is a bit of a weird one. So where do you want to put him?
Wait a second. Where did we have the Saints last time?
Oh yeah, thank you. The Saints were in meh, aka not good, not bad.
Yeah.
So quick drop off for them.
The Giants. See, this is hard. The playoff picture right now is Cowboys.
Giants are currently sitting at 7-4.
Was it Cowboys, Seahawks, Giants?
Yeah. Yep.
Who else is to contend that?
The
Commanders. Oh,
I cannot believe the Commanders are 7-5. That's insane to me.
I just think the Commanders are taking at least one against the Giants. Because
Have they not played yet?
I think they have 2 left.
Oh wow, that is fun then.
Let's see this. Yeah, they got 2 left.
Oh man.
I mean, they got Commanders, so if they lose this one, and then Eagles. Oof. Oh wait, no, this schedule is wow. It is.
I know where I want to put them. It's up to you.
It is bleeping hard. Yeah, playoff hopefuls.
I agree. I mean, you got Commanders, Eagles, Commanders, Vikings. You got the Colts.
What does the cat say he would do to us?
I don't know. Where does the cat want them? Divisional dwellers?
Yeah, but
I completely disagree.
I don't see a lock. A lock.
Neither do I. They're not a lock at all. Like they're tied for making the wild card right now, which is
and
not.
And if I hear somebody say like Daniel Jones owns the Commanders, like what? I don't. Yeah, I don't get
the Giants. The Giants. They've had a fairly simple schedule, also like to this point. So
I mean, yeah, their losses are like they've lost to good teams. That's the
exactly. They're gonna get some real tests at the end of the season. Maybe they turn around and become complete locks for the playoffs. I just don't see it. I mean,
double Eagles is tough.
Double Eagles, double Commanders, who might be on the same
level. Not looking bright for the Giants over there.
It's tough. The offense is looking good. I mean, it's looking okay. Like Andrew Thomas is playing great. The defense, I'll make the argument this year that their interior D linemen are some of the best in the league. I mean, Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams have been incredible.
Dexter Lawrence has been the nose guard. He is crazy.
He has been unreal for them. He's been so good. But yeah, I agree with you. So I think putting him in playoff hopefuls, we'll put him at the front.
I just think the Patriots are better.
Really?
I think the verse the Patriots win.
All right, as long as we keep them in front of the Chargers.
We're also forgetting that the Giants are so injured. Who are the receivers? Like it's
no one. I mean, they were coming into the year with no one, but now it's like worse than no one.
They lost Xavier McKinney, not Weston.
Yeah. Okay. Shout out the World Cup show will be coming on Friday before
announcement.
Quick announcement. World Cup show is Friday night before this Saturday 9:00 game versus Netherlands for the U.S.
Pulisic is my legal father.
Dude, that we'll get into it, but that goal was unreal. I mean, the Kent men blew up in St. Joe's.
Reminds me of a little bit of a Taylor Heineke, puts his life on the line.
Yeah.
Not talent wise, but
Yeah. So all right. So we're gonna put the Giants in the middle of playoff hopefuls at the moment.
Yeah, I mean their conference, like if they're in the AFC, I'm not putting him. Oh, I'm putting him in playoff hopefuls if they're in the AFC, but
Yeah, I feel like AFC and NFC have kind of balanced out as the year has gone on.
not really wild card because the wild card there's like 4 teams and that's it.
Yeah, the AFC is more deep, but I think at the top, no, yeah, AFC is a bit better, but both conferences are unreal with like the top half.
Definitely one of the best NFL years in a while.
Yeah, no, the playoffs are going to be so fun this year.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, I can't wait for the Cowboys, but it's going to be so fun to watch.
And last year we probably had like 4 or 5 teams that like we thought could win the Super Bowl, and guess what happened? The Bengals came out of nowhere. So
Exactly. Maybe it's the Ravens this year. Maybe it's one of these 4 teams at the top.
it's
Maybe it's
definitely
the Giants. Like who knows?
Well,
All right, we won't stretch it that far. I don't want to jinx anything.
I mean, you could probably predict the Bengals were like that team.
All that matters for the playoffs is the take I'll stand by my entire life. It just matters who's hot. If
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
firing on all cylinders going into the playoffs, like you're
That's-
probably the most likely team to get there.
that's
get to the
I
Super Bowl.
mean, yeah, that's probably like every sport.
Yeah, exactly. It is.
Yeah.
So I
Great.
mean, especially the NFL, just one game. It's not even a series. Like, you got to win 4 or 5 games in a row. So if you're hot, like, you got a really great shot. And who knows who will be hot when we get to the end of the season. So Giants are going to be playoff hopefuls. In our previous episode, Week 8, they were in the hunt. So also, AKA playoff hopefuls. They were in the bottom half of that. Now they're in the middle. So I guess a little bit of an improvement, but no matter, the same tier. Next New York team we have, Jack, your favorite team, the New York Jets. Where we're going to put them?
This team is reborn. I mean, it is totally reborn with Mike White. I don't want to hear anything Saqueth says about he did this last year or something. He played an amazing Bengals game. His first drive and then went to the Colts. First drive against the Colts, amazing. Second drive, loses feeling in his arm. I mean, how does that happen? Then he never comes back. First game back this year, he played amazing. I watched the film. He did not miss that many reads. He may miss like 2. But if I could see him throwing the ball to Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore, I love Elijah Moore. He's so good. Just keep passing him the ball. If this offense could score at least 20 a game, 17, with how good that defense has been, I just realized I'm hyping them up so much and putting them in playoff hopefuls. Yeah, they're playoff hopefuls, but I'm hyping them up.
Yeah, I mean, once again, like it's just it's so deep in the AFC right now that I'm gonna have to agree. Playoff hopefuls. I mean, dude, if Mike White can keep this up, which I'm gonna highly doubt, I'll just say that right now.
Oh man,
I'll throw it out
did
there.
was just dump off the ball a couple times instead of the Garrett Wilson deep throw. Like he was just 10-yard passes. That's all he needs.
And he was so good at it, but I'm hoping he keeps it up because I think the Jets being good is so fun for the league, especially the tri-state area. It's just unreal when the Jets and Giants are both good. I want to give a shout out to the defense though, Jack.
Well, yeah, I said. I mean that D line. I dream about it every night. Same as I did with Sauce Gardner. I love that.
Not even Sauce, dude. This cornerback core.
Well, DJ Reed is.
Even Michael Carter. Like he's been incredible.
Yeah.
Like Sauce. This year is probably the best corner in the NFL.
He's playing like it instead of that Claypool touchdown, which is his first touchdown. But
yeah, but I mean, everyone has to have a hiccup, especially if you're. He's a rookie, right? Yeah, he's a rookie.
Yeah, it's definitely.
So yeah, I mean, Quinnen Williams is I mean, he's a top 5 interior.
Well, you got Quinnen Williams, you got Jermaine Johnson, you got Bryce Huff, who has 3 sacks in a row in 3 games. John Fenton Myers, Carl Lawson, Michael Clemens. I don't know if you've heard of this guy.
I have. He's
a
great.
5th round pick, and he's been amazing. I mean, that
Sheldon
D-line,
Rankins too.
Sheldon Rank. I mean, this D line is crazy. Those 7 we got.
I would say this is the most underrated defense in the NFL. I'll throw that take out there.
Definitely. I mean,
I don't think people talk about it enough, but nonetheless, obviously, we talked about how deep the wild card is right now. So playoff hopefuls, definitely. Where do we want to put them in playoff hopefuls?
Right. It's sad because I want to put them in front of the Patriots, but we lost them. We lost them twice. I mean,
what is the thought though with the Giants?
Oh my God, we're killing them.
I want to put them above the Giants too.
If we verse them, we're beating them. You can't say we're not beating them.
Dude, do you know how fun it would be? Arizona Stadium, February 12th, New York Jets versus the New York Giants.
I think I'd just be more nervous to I wouldn't even. I'd be more nervous to lose just with all like my Giants friends yelling at me.
If you are a fan of the losing team in that game, I don't think you can step foot outside of your house for like weeks. If
Yeah,
you're
I think I'll probably get like the flu and then won't come in for the school for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the state of New Jersey is going to be it's going to be rocking no matter what. I mean, fans are. It's just going to be ultimate bragging rights for lifetimes.
If
Like
there's a
that.
home game, if there's a home wild card game, I mean, it is gonna be. But
Yeah,
I don't think it's possible.
yeah. But hey, it'll be awesome for the Super Bowl. Next team we have the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's how I feel about them. Like I guess they're 11-1. Do I feel like they're gonna win the Super Bowl over these 4 teams? No. Can I see what you say? I want to see what you say.
I want to put them. I definitely think they're Lombardi contenders, and I want to put them above Miami. I'll go against you there.
No, they're just not better than Miami. They're really not.
I think they're the fourth best team in the NFL.
I don't.
Are they a
Fine.
top 5 team in the NFL? Can we get that out there?
Yeah, they're 5.
So, all right, you really don't think they're better than Miami?
I think this Miami team is so good. Like they really just haven't lost with Tua since October 31st of last year.
I know the Eagles' schedule hasn't been the most difficult, but I mean, man, they're 11-1. Like they've lost a game.
Titans, Cowboys.
Hey, they have a tough schedule coming up.
Not really. They also have the Bears.
I mean, Titans, Cowboys. I mean, the Titans are.
Yeah.
Where do we have them right now? Oh, we haven't ranked them yet, but they're going to be up there. Cowboys, I mean, have an argument for the number 1 team. Like, those are a couple tough games. We'll leave it like this for now. We can change it back and forth at the end if we want to run through just where everyone is. No, let me just real quick. So the Eagles were Lombardi contenders in our last episode. The Giants were.
You went over this.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you went over the Giants.
Okay, well then the Jets were also in the hunt, aka playoff hopefuls. So no changes in the Eagles or the Jets. Next team we have, shout out to Mr. Lechner with the interview earlier on today, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Jack.
Shout out. Tank.
There we go, Mr. Lechner.
Tank.
They gotta be Tank, man. They have to be.
They're so bad. Oh man!
Once again, shout out Mr. Lechner.
Yeah, of course. We love him. Great teacher. Wait, what does he teach?
A-Push,
okay.
AP Gov.
Right.
Also, awesome classes. I got to throw that out there.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever learned so much in a class at St. Joe's than those classes. So those classes are unreal.
He's up there with Neary.
Yeah, dude. I mean, if we're doing a St. Joe's tier list ranking, which we will not be, but if we were to, I mean, Mr. Lechner is an S. He's a Lombardi contender.
I mean, that would get heated. That tier list. That would.
It would. That will not be happening. Please, no one expect that to happen. But yeah. Mr. Lechner is a Lombardi contender for sure. But his team is not. His team is one of the worst in the league. Tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not much to it.
Sorry to put it so bluntly, Mr. Lechner. That's just the way things are at the moment. Actually, let's do a quick checkup on the Steelers. Steelers were no, they were Tank. We saw it coming.
We saw it coming. Wow.
Look at us. Steelers stay the same in Tank. I do want to put them above a little bit. I think right here is good.
I like him over the Rams.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. I'm going to keep the Saints at 1. We'll do that. The Seattle Seahawks are our next team.
Rest in peace, Brian Burke. No.
Yeah.
Of course, because
basketball practice. Miss you.
Yeah. There's no way the Giants are taking their playoff spot, so I'll take divisional dwellers.
Oh, so we're going lock for the Seahawks.
Yep.
I think no matter. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. Actually, I think regardless if they beat out the Niners for that 1 slot, I think they make it. Like no matter what, whether it's a 6 or 7 seed.
Oh my gosh. It's double Rams. They have a double Ram. So and Panthers, but then Chiefs, Niners, Jets.
I mean, the Niners will be a great game. The Jets will be a great game, no matter how much, if you don't want to admit it.
No, it will be. It's
All right.
just, that's probably gonna be like where Mike White starts to become like his like Dan Marino self. So
Yeah, that's what it always.
right now he's about like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I think divisional dwellers is fair. We'll put them below the Ravens and the Bengals. Seahawks in our last episode were playoff hopefuls. So Seahawks moving up. Geno Smith, we did not expect to keep it up. He has. So I mean, look at the Seahawks, man.
I expected it. Like Saqueth was like talking him down, but
I mean, I'll be honest. So was I.
Oh no, Will was a big doubter.
I didn't think he would drop off a map, but I did not expect him to keep up being a top 5 quarterback in the league. I mean, maybe he hasn't, but I mean, he's still elite of the elite right now, which is still unfathomable to think about. But hey, I mean, props to Geno Smith. So yeah, they bump up a tier since week 8.
If you don't like Geno Smith, like go to church. I don't know.
Yeah, do something, because that is the most likable player. I mean, he's been, if we're being brutally honest, he's been a nobody for his entire career, and now he's leading the Seahawks to what we think is a playoff lock.
I mean, when you have to follow up the QB that performed the butt fumble, it's a hard task. So
yeah,
at least he's showing.
Also, underratedly fill Russell Wilson's role. Once again, Seahawks Russell Wilson different than Broncos Russell Wilson. I mean, he filled those shoes perfectly. He might have overfilled them. I think he's too big for those shoes.
I mean, yeah, he's part of the biggest robbery of all time.
It is, and I mean, hey, upgrade for the Seahawks. So Seahawks are up big right now, probably winning the most out of any NFL team.
Yeah.
Next team, we got the San Francisco 49ers. Jack.
Well, this is annoying. What's the record right now?
The Niners are 7-4.
Yeah, and they're on like a 4-game win streak, right?
I think so. Yeah, it's making me second guess the Seahawks pick a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh, dude! Niners Dolphins.
That is an incredible game.
This is gonna be. This honestly tells it for me. Right now, I have them as Lombardi contenders. But if I see them lose by more than one score, or never really in the game, then they're definitely divisional dwellers. But right now, I'll take them at Lombardi.
The Niners,
dude. McCaffrey, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle. I mean, it's like that O line is amazing. Too good. They're too good.
Oh wow!
It's all coming together right now, man.
I thought they were divisional locks. I'm willing to do it. I mean, the defense is overperforming.
I think they're beating the Eagles.
I think they're a better team than the Eagles, honestly. Yeah.
Yes, like I think they're beating the Eagles, which is like crazy because they have 4 less wins.
Yeah. No, I mean Trent Williams has kept it up from last year. McCaffrey.
Do you see like the plays of him like running down the field with McCaffrey?
Oh, he's just taking out like 3 defenders each play. Like
that guy is crazy. He's like 38.
He's like one of the best players in the NFL. I know he's an O lineman. I don't care. I mean, him at tackle is like Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. Like,
we are probably the most loving O line show in the whole world.
Yeah,
we love O line.
I mean, and obviously the defense. Fred Warner is still elite of the elite linebacker, off-ball linebacker. I mean, you can call him the best of the best if you want.
And then they have that. What's the cornerback's name? That's been playing like he's top 10.
Oh, Charvarius Ward.
Yeah, he's
played great. Yeah. Tolanoa Hufanga had a great start to the year, but has kept it up a little bit. He's looking great.
Palomalo.
Yeah, a little bit of that action. Another safety. Nick Bosa, obviously. Yeah, I mean, Drake Greenlaw is another great linebacker. I mean, this defense is just.
Oh, I love Greenlaw. Right, that's his name.
Yeah, Dre Greenlaw.
I love that guy.
So I think it's fair to put them at 5 at the end of this Lombardi contender.
Yeah, you definitely can't put Vikings in that same tier.
Nah, which is weird because I mean I know the record says otherwise, but it does. Like 9-2 is not what they like. That their record and like who they've beaten. Like you got to take that into account
because we're projecting. We are projecting, and we think these are the most likely 6 teams to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. I mean, none of these teams at the bottom will give any problem with that. So yeah, I think the Niners definitely belong up there.
And I could honestly see the Bengals winning the Super Bowl more of a chance than the Vikings. Like it's
Yeah, I think that's so hypothetical though.
yeah. You have to show the respect and the past.
Yeah,
And,
of what they've done so far, you have to give
yeah.
them that Vikings tier, which I
Yeah.
still love. Yeah. So and the Niners were divisional dwellers, aka playoff locks, in our last episode, and they're moving up, man. So Lombardi contenders good on Kyle Shanahan and San Francisco. Next team we have the Tom Brady led Buccaneers, or as Will would like to call it, as Will would call Tom Brady a horrendous leader. So I guess just the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I actually think this is like probably could be a lot of words there. The Bengals last year.
Which is weird because they're very different, but yeah, I completely agree.
I think that this is probably the most likely team to start from the bottom and make it to the Super Bowl. And
Man.
I will take them at divisional dwellers.
I mean, my whole argument for them is Tom Brady. Like, that's
Tom
it.
Brady. Defense is getting better.
Tom Brady with a good defense in the playoffs. Like, that's all you need to know.
Yeah. I mean, Godwin, Evans.
That definitely helps.
I haven't heard anything about Russell Gage because I liked him.
Yeah, I liked him too from San Fran. Their receiver room is so deep too.
Scotty Miller.
Scotty Miller.
Julio
too. Like it's unreal.
Julio
Jalen Gordon, I loved coming out of college.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, and you got Rashad White, Leonard Fournette. That's a solid running back duo.
We can't answer that.
We can't do it yet. Not yet. Yeah, I'm liking it too. I think divisional dwellers. I mean, but then again, we think they're playoff locks, but that could also make a run. Are we good with keeping them at the bottom of divisional dwellers, or we want to move them up over Seattle?
Well, they beat Seattle.
Yeah, and I think they have more of a chance of making a run than Seattle does too.
Yeah, let's keep it real. I mean, Seattle's not making it past the wild card.
But it's such a good story. But yeah,
we gotta put the Bucks. Of course.
Gotta put the Bucks over
It's like the Raiders last year.
Yeah. The Bucks in our Week 8 episode were playoff locks, aka divisional dwellers, aka the same exact tier that we have them in right now. So Brady and the Bucks staying consistent so far the past 6 weeks. Next team, the Tennessee Titans, currently sitting at 7-4. So Jack, where are you thinking about putting them?
I love Mike Vrabel. That's all I gotta say about this team.
Yep.
So divisional dwellers.
I mean, divisional dwellers because they're that good, and also who is gonna rival that?
I think Jeff Saturday. Like what?
Yeah. Will, we're really sorry, man, but they are running away with this division.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a great performance against the Bengals. Was not, but
it doesn't.
Bengals are a good team.
It doesn't matter. I mean, you just look at that division, dude. It's like that's the worst division in the NFL right now.
It's probably one of the worst divisions in the last 5 years.
It is atrocious.
Even if you want to look the NFC East the last couple of years.
Yeah, it was. I mean, NFC East also what a comeback. But yeah. Their next game, which we'll get to, is gonna be the Eagles, then the Jaguars, Chargers, Texans, Cowboys, Jaguars again. Couple hard games, the Chargers, and then gimmies. So I mean, they're winning that division.
Oh, easily. It's not even a question.
So division
there's a reason we have the Colts and the Jaguars and not good, not bad.
Exactly. I think above the Seahawks again, but are we going above Brady or
no, we're not
staying here?
I think we're thinking alike right now.
And we'll top it off with one more 7-4 team, the Washington Commanders.
Well, playoff hopefuls. I think that's obvious.
I think so too. I love the team. It's unreal that they're good to me. I thought they were a guaranteed top 5 pick, if I'm being honest with you.
Well, that was Carson Wentz, and I tried to tell you guys that Taylor Heineke, he really shows I don't know how to explain him.
He's just better. He's so much better.
He is a lumberjack.
Yeah. And also, real quick, shout out. You forgot to remind me, Jack. Don't let it happen again. Titans were Titans were in the hunt last episode. Now they are divisional dwellers. So Titans moving up.
I mean,
or
come
is
on.
it just
Why
the
do we have
AFC
him?
South?
It's probably because of
Is it
Will. He was talking up the Colts. He was like, they could win the division.
Yeah. Is it just the AFC South moving down too? Like I think that could be it.
I mean, I'm looking at a nice Colts Cowboys game.
It's gonna be fun. Also, a good opportunity to plug. Sunday, we're gonna have our first Sunday show upcoming before the games. That'll be a full slate preview as well as a Monday Night Football pick. So be sure to tune in for our picks for all the Sunday games. It'll be Will Kwiatkowski's return. Cowboys are playing the Colts. Cannot wait for that game. It is going to be a brutal beatdown and not for the Colts' liking. So it should be a fun episode.
We'll be picking
Sunday.
all of Saketh's favorite teams.
Oh, we will be. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That'll be. Saketh is going to have a mental breakdown on that episode. Like that's not going to be great.
I know. I mean, we might see like. I don't want to say that. Just keep going.
just each game he has to gauge who he likes more on his ranking.
Yeah.
That's all it is. The Commanders, it's a great comeback. I wouldn't call them divisional dwellers. They're not a lock at all. They're also not good. They're also not in that not good, not bad tier. So I think playoff hopefuls is a good spot for them.
I mean, we're looking at the Giants twice, the Cowboys, the Niners, and the Browns. Wow.
Those could all be losses.
They really could be because you don't know the Browns with Deshaun.
And it'll be Deshaun's fourth week with them too.
Niners are losing. I could actually see them beating the Cowboys on the last week because the Cowboys bench.
I could see that too. Yeah, I think the Cowboys will be kind of locked. They won't get that 1 seed just because of their record at the moment. At least I don't think. But they'll probably be locked into the 2 or 3. Or the 5. I forgot about the wild card.
I mean, is Jerry Jones' ego? Would he bench them?
If he's locked into the spot he is, I don't think he would be so dumb.
Well, would he have like the pride to beat the Commanders to take him out of the playoffs?
He might. I could definitely see that now that I'm thinking about it. So not looking great for Washington. Jack, what we're looking at right here is there anything we want to switch around, like either in a tier or even move teams up tiers or down tiers, or are we good with this right now?
Yeah, let me take a hard look at this.
I think the top layer is solid. I think that's perfect.
Well, I like the Dolphins better than the Eagles, but that's just us debating and who. No, Saketh likes the Eagles better. We'll listen to him.
It's interchangeable. So we'll just do this for a few seconds.
Who do you think wins that game?
Dolphins, Eagles. I couldn't tell you. They're
come on. After Sunday night, come on.
Dude, no, I think it's a close. I think it just whoever's home. I'll just say that. Honestly.
Well, because Jake Paul's at Hard Rock Stadium.
Yeah, a little bit.
Also,
Meek Mill at Lincoln Financial has a big impact.
I mean, yeah, that's electric. I can't deny that. If Meek Mill's at the stadium, then they're probably number one.
So that top layer is. I think that's done. No one else should be in the Vikings layer. I think that's pretty obvious. The divisional dwellers, do we want to move anything around there?
I like the Bengals better than the Ravens.
You do?
I do.
I think they can make more of a run. But they're also more likely to lose first round in the wild card.
I don't think the Ravens have got past the first round in the past 3 years.
Oh man.
They can't get over that hump. Oh no, they did. They beat the Titans, but
it's so close. I love the Ravens too.
I guess they're both 7-4, and they have one head-to-head, and Ravens won it.
Yeah, so I like the Ravens, and I think that's enough too with that win.
Yeah, I'll give it.
Leave Baltimore at the top. Bengals are definitely number 2. But the Bucks, Titans, and Seahawks, I think they're good in my opinion.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. That's chill.
And our playoff hopeful layer, we have the Pats at the top right now, which is pretty solid.
Do you want me to say something about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, they beat the Jets twice. If they didn't, they'd probably. So it's also because of Zach Wilson.
Well, sure, but I mean, like
I'm also bad luck. I go to these Jets games and they always lose. So.
But I mean, hey, the Jets have a better record at the moment.
They do, but they lost twice to the Patriots.
If that's enough for you, it's enough for me. We'll leave them at the top. Jets, I think, are definitely number 2. 3 is interesting. Do we like Commanders? Do we like Giants? Do we like Chargers even? Like,
I think it's more likely.
I'll throw this out there. I think the Chargers are the worst of the bunch, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're horrible.
Okay.
Not horrible, but like,
Yeah, they're the worst of playoff hopefuls.
What do you think is more likely? The Commanders sweep this season series or they tie it?
I think the Commanders are the better team.
Especially with all these injuries, I could really see them sweeping these Giants, man.
Yeah. I mean, they have such a tough schedule, but once again, I want to look at the team rather than just like how likely it is their record is better, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and Giants' schedule instead of the Commanders, if they get swept, they're done. They're double Eagles and Vikings.
That's done. Yeah. All right.
They could even lose to the Colts.
So Commanders are smack down the middle. Then I think they have to be.
Yeah.
All right, and then the Giants and Chargers. I think we're in agreement upon.
We're only putting the Giants and playoff hopefuls out of respect of their record.
Yeah, they are not a playoff hopeful team. They're not an above average team.
I don't think they're a playoff team. I could see them losing to the Colts.
Yeah, so could I.
Like it's just, I hate the Giants.
I think they're so not overrated because I think people recognize that like they're not what their record shows.
I mean, we're Jets and Cowboys fans talking on this, so we're definitely biased, but like they're really not that good. They're not.
I mean, let us know your thoughts in the comments on the video. I'm sure we're gonna post some of this on TikTok as well. But yeah, I mean, dude, the Giants are just they're not doing it anymore for me.
No, they're really not, and they haven't won a game by more than 2 scores.
Exactly. There's some close
they
games.
They lost to the Giants 31-18. They got ran over by Jamal Williams. What do you think Jonathan Taylor's going to do to them?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I could see them just losing 6 in a row. Actually,
so
8 in a row right now.
I think both their offense and defense are both below average.
So, of course, we know that the Dolphins won 7 in a row last year. Yep. I could see the Giants being the headline, lose 8 in a row. Because
I could too.
They just lost to the Lions and the Cowboys. I mean, and they lost to the Cowboys by 2 scores. All right, let's not get it twisted.
Yeah, it was a domination loss.
Instead of one Darius Slayton 40-yard catch, I think they didn't do anything else on offense.
Just garbage time. That's the end score, but that's not what the game showed. If we're being real.
And this is not all about this is only about their roster. I love Brian Dable.
Yeah. So do I. The future is really bright, but man, right now. I mean, hey, they're still in playoff hopefuls. We're not giving too much hate.
Yeah, it's just I just don't see them losing that. I don't see the Commanders losing that spot to them.
Yeah, I agree.
As of now.
We'll move on to not good, not bad. We have the Browns at the top of this section right now. I think just because of Deshaun Watson's return, but
it's all potential. We don't want to be wrong.
That's all it is.
If we're wrong about him coming back and he's not good, then so be it.
I'm fine with keeping them at the top if you are.
Yeah, I think we have to reconstruct this a bit.
We definitely do. So can we agree with the Browns at the top?
Yeah, and I like Packers second. Come on,
probably
33 on the Eagles.
We'll go Packers second. They're still a good team. They're not making the playoffs. They're still an average NFL
but
team.
It feels like they're starting to, there's the growing pains are gone from Devontae.
It's already way too late.
Yeah, that's the point. It's way too late, but it feels like they're starting to mesh a bit. But
yeah. In my opinion, the Cardinals are not 3. I'll put them there for now. They're not last, but
I think Raiders. It's a good win last week, and it's just Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs could carry this team.
Yeah,
dude, I would make an argument for the Raiders over the Packers if we're being honest.
What's the record?
The Raiders are 4-7, and so are the Packers.
I just me personally, no.
It's very close. I think if you definitively say no.
But we're talking about the bottom tier teams, so
yeah, no, they're not making the playoffs. Nothing too much with the implications here. Raiders definitely 3 though. 4, the Bears are on the up.
I think the Lions are better than the Bears.
You think so? I don't know about that.
They're on a 3-game win streak.
The Lions or the Bears?
The Lions.
Dude, I just think Fields is gonna.
Oh wait, no, they're not on a 3-game win streak. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna
They
say.
were on a 3-game win streak.
I just love Fields so much. I mean, there's some other teams too.
Okay, but you can debate that Fields played his best game against the Lions and they still lost.
Yeah. No, that's fair. But I don't even know what. Do either of these teams deserve it? Like, should we look at the AFC South over there?
No, they definitely don't deserve it. The AFC South.
The Jags or Indy, they might both be better than both those teams.
Oh, I was thinking the NFC South.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like the Jaguars. I love that win last week.
Yeah, so I agree. I think Jags go. Are we leaving? Are they fourth or are they fifth behind the Falcons?
They're in front of the Falcons.
Okay, do that.
I think that might be Trevor Lawrence's coming out party.
Dude, I think it. Dude, I was such a big guy on him when he was a prospect, and like if he blows up, I'll be so happy.
You've just been like intently watching these games, like hoping he finally.
And he finally has, which makes me look great. I mean, I know he was the number 1 overall pick. Can't say too much.
I mean, I think that's 5.
Yeah, I think the Falcons are perfect at 5 in my opinion.
Any guy from last year or like you predicted from the draft that's been good?
Let's see. I gotta think about the draft now. What were some of the picks? Tyler Smith, I thought would be terrible for the Cowboys. He's been okay. That's nothing too fun though.
I thought Kyle Hamilton was a bad pick. How's he been playing?
Kyle Hamilton's been great, but no, he's been good. So has Tyler Linderbaum. The Ravens always kill in the draft.
I don't know how they do it every year.
It's unreal. I mean, you got like David Ojabo, Odafe Owe, Tyler Linderbaum, Rashad Bateman was a 4th rounder.
Duvernay was 2nd round, right?
Duvernay was 2nd round. I thought Hutchinson was the clear number 1 pick. He's playing great right now. That's a solid hit. I love Stingley. He's been okay. I wasn't as big on Sauce. He's been unreal, obviously.
I feel I love the Sauce pick, but like I wasn't like totally sold on it. And then like you just think about it, like he gave up 4 receptions for 33 yards in college, like.
Yeah, like I know he was at Cincinnati. The competition wasn't all there, but dude, it translated so well for him.
Yeah, and the only like not the only, but like the biggest draft thing I was right about was CeeDee Lamb.
Oh my dude, I thought he was a top 5 pick.
I'm telling you, I thought the same thing as well. Like I was just watching him at Oklahoma was just like it was mesmerizing. He was so good.
I didn't think twice about him when I was thinking about the Cowboys at pick 17.
Yeah, I don't know how
Christian Fulton. Like I wasn't even thinking about a guy like that.
I thought he was the best receiver in the country when he was at Oklahoma.
I thought, so did I. Also, I gotta be completely honest. Was not a big Justin Jefferson guy. Not gonna lie. I gotta be like I thought Jettas was like a late.
You thought he was a 1-game wonder?
No, not that. I thought he was a good prospect, still a 1st rounder, but like I'm talking like 30, 31, 32.
Time out. So you think Rager was a good pick over Jefferson at the time?
No. I thought Rager was terrible.
Yeah.
But I didn't think Jefferson was like great. I thought CeeDee was by far better. I thought Judy was the best out of all of them.
Yeah, we all thought that just because of his route running, but it hasn't really translated.
I thought CeeDee was 2, which he is 2 now, but now he's behind Jettas. I thought Jettas was like 4 or 5 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't hate on him too much, but yeah, I did not think that he would be anywhere near what he is now. Are we good with this? Not good, not bad at the end of this?
I
think the Colts should separate the NFC North teams, but it just depends who's first out of these 2.
Who's gonna be so mad about this? Well, the Lions beat the Bears.
Did they? Have they only played 1 game?
Yeah.
If they have, that's enough for me. We'll go Lions, Colts, Bears, Cardinals. All right, just to end it off, the worst of the worst. Saints, I think, are definitely number 1. Texans are definitely or the last, number 32. It's just that in between of those 4 teams. I like it where it's at.
I love it. The Broncos.
Yeah.
Why
All right, so I think this is our final tier list then.
of the season, correct?
What was that?
Is that this is it? Basically.
It should be, yeah. I mean, because we're not going to be doing projections in week 18. So, yeah. So, final tier list of the season. These are our final predictions. We'll have another episode when the playoffs are set, and we'll also be predicting playoffs probably in a couple weeks. But yeah, for right now, week 13, this is how we would rank all the teams. So sink it in. Bills all the way to the Texans. These are our rankings of the NFL teams. And that is going to do it for episode 11 of This Is a Football Show. Saketh Kodori was with us earlier. Big thanks to Mr. Lechner. Great interview about a horrendous team right now, the Steelers. But still appreciate him talking about it. So for Jack Kemmler, I've been your host, Ben Chadwick. Thanks for tuning in.